Hello, everyone. I'm Jake Perlman here from Entertainment Weekly. We are here at the Google Plus Hangout on air with Hot Paul himself, Dylan Bruce of Orphan Black, here to celebrate the season finale, season 2 finale tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, BBC.
Yes.
A lot of questions about that.
Get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn and your mind ready for that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but we're really excited to be here to talk to you. The show is a phenomenon. It is a cult classic already in only its second season. What is it like to be a part of such a big following?
It's amazing. Our fandom is unbelievable. We love you, Clone Club. We're nothing without you, and you're the ones that inspire us to keep this show going and to work as hard as we do. And it's a dream come true to be a part of a show that's so smart, so groundbreaking, and with a wonderful lead actress that can do it all.
Yes, that wonderful lead actress, Tatiana Maslany, won a Critics' Choice Award last night.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Today is also the last day for Emmy ballots due. So do you pay attention to that stuff? Are you thinking about that?
I'm thinking about it for her because I don't think there's a single person that works even a smidgen as hard as her in Hollywood as far as an actress is concerned, or an actor. She's 5 of the leads on a show, where all these people are just one lead on a show, and she differentiates all these characters so well. She's a savant. She's amazing, and she deserves every single accolade. But at the same time, I don't think she really even cares. That's how cool she is, man. She's like, whatever. But it's very nice to be rewarded for us, to see her be rewarded for her hard work.
Yes. Now, one thing that you share in common with her and a lot of other castmates is that you're all Canadian.
Yes, yeah.
So, and the show is filmed in Toronto.
It is, yeah.
And it is set in Toronto, which some people might didn't realize. I did not realize at first that was Toronto, because I think Toronto is used a lot for filming, but it's usually used as a substitute for New York. So,
right.
What is your background in Canada, your history, and what's it like working in Canada versus working in America?
I'm born and raised in Vancouver, British Columbia, on the West Coast, and I went to school in Seattle, Washington, university and high school. But it's great. I love going home back to Canada to film, especially Vancouver, because a lot of my family's still up there. Going to Toronto is a different animal in its own right, because we usually film Orphan Black in the winter, and as you guys know, these past 2 winters, which the past 2 seasons of Orphan Black have been filmed, have been pretty harsh.
Polar vortex much?
Yeah, polar vortex much, yeah. But I'm starting to definitely get thicker blood, if you will, and I'll have those stories from my kids one day. I walked 10 miles in the snow to get to the grocery store and chewed bark on the way. So, yeah, no, it's definitely making me a tougher guy for sure. I love it. And it's it's Generica, because we want to be all inclusive. We want Americans to think it's in the States. That makes them feel like they're more a part of the show, and we want Canadians to think it's in Canada, so they feel more part of the show as well. So Generica. I think that's how Graham Manson, our creator, explains it. It's Generica.
That's nice. I like
Gotham.
That. Right. Yeah. You're Gotham.
We're Gotham. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
So you started, though, you worked in New York for a little bit on a soap opera.
Yes, I did, yeah.
And I found one interesting comparison for the character that you played to Tatiana's character, in that you were the 8th actor to play that part, right?
Yes, I was.
So what was that like, stepping into a role that had already been done before, you knew was going to be probably done after you?
The role, I know, because the role has been cursed, because there was 8 actors in a very short period of time that played this character. I had a lot of fun. Taught me a lot about memorization and always having to be on point, because we would get one take to do a scene, and we would shoot a whole episode in a day, and if you screwed up, then you wouldn't stick around for very long. But it just so happened that I stayed for a little bit, a year and a half, but I think I got out at the right time, because the show was canceled, sadly, shortly after I left. But I did learn how to use a pen light, because I played a doctor, and a stethoscope very well. And
That's important.
They called me Baby Doc, because I was chief of staff at the age, I think I was 27 years old when I was playing that part. So probably the youngest chief of staff in the history of television, aside from Doogie Howser. So watch your back, NPH. I'm coming for you.
Be prepared. So from Baby Doc to
Baby
Hot Paul.
Oh, yeah.
So what's it like to have that nickname attached to you?
It's crazy because I mean, not too long ago when I was 18 years old, I probably weighed 130 pounds and I had braces and very awkward. I was a late bloomer. My nose didn't fit my face. My head didn't fit my body. So it was nice to finally bloom into myself and for people to call me Hot Paul. That's very sweet of them. It's unnecessary, but it's very sweet. You can call me. I do love spicy food, so I guess it works for that as well.
That's exactly what they were referring to.
Yeah, and I sweat profusely. I got a sweating problem because
So do I.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, but.
Well, I imagine you must work out a lot, though.
I do. Yeah.
You are shirtless a lot, but we already have decided he is not going to get shirtless. Today.
No.
You could use Google for other reasons and find pictures of that.
I'm waiting for the next season. I'm working out even harder than I did the previous season. So I'm waiting for next season to unleash the beast. So
we don't even know.
You don't even know what's gonna happen. Yeah,
wow,
it's gonna be crazy.
It could be Hot Paul.
Hot Paul. There you go.
But seriously, the first scene that you were in the show turns into an epic sex scene.
It does.
So when you first read the script and like, oh, hello world, this is my character.
Yeah. I know it was quite a day, and it was my first day on set too that we filmed that scene. And the only clothing that was in my dressing room was a sock. So I knew that I was in for a serious day. But Tatiana's so sweet. She can be more, inviting and welcoming and make you feel very comfortable. And, since then, filming those scenes is a breeze. I'm very comfortable being naked on set now. So if ever I had to do a show like Game of Thrones where they're just naked all the time, not a problem. Masters of Sex, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Naked, just walking around San Francisco because it's apparently legal to walk around naked there. Yeah. Whatever. I'm still comfortable. So thank you, Orphan Black, and thank you, Vanity Cloths, for making that all possible.
So we already have a ton of questions from fans on our Q&A. One question that we got a lot, though, was which do you think is your personal favorite clone, and which do you think is Paul's favorite clone?
Me personally, Dylan Bruce, my favorite clone would have to be Allison, just because I grew up in the burbs. I remember carpooling with other kids going to school and having their moms that were in charge of the carpool that day being a lot like Allison, being at Christmas functions with other families and seeing drunk parents that probably acted just like Allison. Not to the extent where they let someone perish in a garbage disposal scarf accident, but that was very interesting to me to see that Tatiana step into that role. But as far as Paul's concerned, I think his favorite clone would have to be Sarah. Sarah. I think he's got a weird thing for Sarah still. So I think Paul's got a soft spot in his heart for Sarah, always because of what happened to Beth. So Paul's favorite clone would definitely have to be Sarah, even if she pistol whips him in the face and ends up hooking up with her baby's daddy this season. But, what can you do?
So your character has been with 3 of the clones.
Yes. Yes, 3 of the clones. Yeah.
Do you think he might, in the future dabble more into other clone area?
I think that's a very strong possibility. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I got a couple little spoilers from our geniuses in charge, and they kind of let it slip, but I won't say who.
Wow, but some more action coming Hot Paul's way.
Yeah, more action.
You don't get enough action. You really need it. I'm really happy for you.
I'm getting really pigeonholed into this guy.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you very much.
There are worse holes to be pigeonholed into.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So how much do the writers tell you, especially a show that so much has a big mythology to it?
Yeah.
Before you even started, were you given a lot of background into the world, or did you just pick it up, learn it with the script?
You know what? There's an open door policy. If you want to ask them something, they'll tell you. But at the same time, they like to keep you guessing as well as the series progresses, and they don't want you to premeditate anything that's coming up. So we really don't know much. Really don't know much. So you're left to fill in the blanks for yourself. So hopefully you guess right, and it's cool. It's cool because it's real life. You don't want to learn what your character's going to do and your character's arc ahead of time, and it's fun to find out when we get those scripts. That's one of my favorite things to do, is sit down with that script with a nice glass of vino and just read and be utterly in shock and surprised and awe and excited at the same time.
So one question we got from Google Plus user Christina Ward, which I found very interesting, was, has the show made you excited about the possibility of human cloning or wary?
It's actually made me wary of the possibility of human cloning because it raises so many ethical questions and concerns. And also, if what if they started cloning people to work in our factories, or just cloning people for menial tasks and jobs? It's kind of a scary concept, and it kind of raises the thought of where would this world be if we didn't have the love of a mother, because clones are they're born out of a test tube, so there's a lot of nature and nurture questions that arise too, and I think it's scary. I'm reading actually Aldous Huxley's book Brave New World right now, which I think Graham Manson draws a lot of inspiration from for our series, and that book freaks me the hell out for what can happen. But I don't know, the Supreme Court, they made a ruling on genetic patenting laws,
right.
But yeah, cloning kind of freaks me out.
It kind of freaks me out.
Yeah, it totally freaks me out.
Do you actually think it'll ever happen?
I mean, the technology's almost there, right? I mean, there
was a sheep.
There was a sheep, yeah, and
That's close.
It hasn't been perfected by any means, but I mean, I definitely think that it can happen, and that's what I think why our show's so cool, because it's scientific reality, and it's based. The premise is a scientific fact that cloning is a thing and it can happen. So yeah, it freaks me the hell out, and I'm glad we're exploring it, and it makes our show a little darker and twisted and weirder, so it's really cool.
Would you ever want to be cloned?
Only if I was Michael Keaton in Duplicity, then I'd want to be cloned, because he had so much fun with his clones in that show, that movie. I'm just kidding. I've never even seen it. I don't even know. No, I wouldn't. Well, maybe they can do all the crap that I don't want to do, but maybe a Family Guy clone, like where he had the Stupid Stewie clone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and maybe someone that was their intelligence level was really, really subpar. So
you would still be the better.
So I could still be the better, and I wouldn't have to worry about them overtaking me or find them in bed with my significant other one day or whatever.
Well, I mean, they have to be good at something.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So they might compensate. We're getting so many other questions. Another question we got from Abby Stevenson was, if you could play any other character on Orphan Black, who would it be and why?
Great question. Any other character on Orphan Black, who would it be and why? I would definitely have a lot of fun playing Donnie Hendricks, Allison's husband. And I just think he would be so much fun to play, because his arc from season 1 to season 2, and you're really seeing him starting to grow a pair and come into his own. And the last episode he was in, he played it so great. There's 11 SA line cracked me up, and I think Christian's great and he's doing a great job. But and also because Allison's my favorite clone, so to be in her orbit as well, I think would be a lot of fun. So I think I'd have to choose Donnie.
Another question we got from Ivy Valmadrid was, if Hot Paul could choose which clone he could monitor, which one do you think? Do you think it would be Allison?
I don't know. She would be a handful, man. She would definitely be a handful. I think if he could choose one clone to monitor, it would probably be Helena. Yeah, let's monitor Helena.
Ooh.
I don't know, just because it's. I think if there was ever a point where she found out that Paul was her monitor, that a fight scene between the two of them would be pretty epic. So.
Well, another question we got from Google Plus user Kenna Woods was, be honest, could Paul take Helena in a fight? A fist fight.
A fist fight? If there's no fish knife involved?
No, yes.
I think Paul could take Helena. Paul's ex-military Blackwater CIA dude. Yeah, I think he's pretty much well-versed in any form of combat. Then again, Helena, I think, will give him a run for his money, because she took down Art this year. She put him in a nice little arm bar. She took down the rancher dude, Henrik. She's quite a force, and And she took out that big trucker bar patron with a cue ball as well. So Helena's definitely kicked a lot more butt this season than Paul ever has. And I beg the writers, I'm like, please, more Paul butt-kicking scenes. And they're like, chill out, Dylan, chill out. It's not your turn yet. So I know.
Yet.
And can I spoil it for you guys? A lot of my kills, I sound like a psychopath, kills on the show have actually been given to other characters. And I will let you speculate as to what those kills were.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So
it could have gone in a completely different direction, and the writers, who are the powers that be, much smarter than I will ever be, decided to go in another direction.
So rewrites.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's an ever-evolving thing. I think they have an idea, but it evolves, and the directions that they went through on all these characters where Paul was supposed to be the assassin worked way better on the show as to how we shot it, as to how it was originally written. So.
Well, there's still a lot of mystery to Paul.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mystery about his past
Mm-hmm.
in war, as you said. He's being referred to as a ghost now.
Right.
So how much do you know about his history already? How much do you think is going to get revealed?
Gosh, I'm sorry, guys, but I come back in a big way in the finale. Don't get me wrong, but there's also another layer of mystery that's added to Paul in the finale as well. So
a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So I don't know too much as to the direction they're going to take Paul in. I would really like to see his past explored. I think it'd be a lot of fun to play. But then again, Paul he would be the perfect target for an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, because this guy just keeps getting more mysterious as he goes on, which is a lot of fun for me to play. I mean, I like being mystery man. Mystery men are they seem to be more attractive for some reason. I don't know. So keep Paul more attractive and mysterious. Keep people guessing. I like that.
Attractive Paul.
Attractive Paul.
We got another question for you to describe the season finale in 3 words.
Thrill ride. That's 2 words.
You can do a dash.
Okay, thrill dash ride, ass dash kicking, and more dash mystery.
A lot of dashes.
A lot of dashes.
Which means that there's a lot of.
And I'm not talking about that Kardashian store dash. I'm talking about the dash between the words.
Yes. That dash.
That dash.
We got a question from Google Plus user Rebecca Camacho. Your character in the first season was really concerned about Beth's mental well-being.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have to say to someone who is struggling like Beth, someone who really didn't see a way out?
What a sad situation that she was involved in. I would hope that she would have people in her life that could, really be there for her and support her, because obviously Paul was not that person, and I know it sucks, and I feel guilt for the character that he wasn't that person that could be there for her. So people that are struggling with some sort of come to moment where they find out something crazy about their past, or whether it's a dependency on pills, I just know that there's a brighter tomorrow, and just keep plugging forward, and just keep working at it, and hopefully you have a great support system, and you can make whatever you want to happen in your life happen.
Awesome. And don't forget, you guys can submit your questions right here in the Hangout. Dylan is here. Hot Paul is here. It's not, if it's steaming up, don't worry. It's just a side effect.
Oh, that makes me so embarrassed.
One question we got a lot, or some variation of it, obviously, is people ask you all the time what it's like to work with one actress playing so many different parts.
Right.
So what is it like for you on your side? Do you prepare yourself differently knowing what clone you're about to go against?
It's really not necessary, because Tatiana's so good at differentiating between all of her clones and making all her clones individual characters, that to be in a scene with her, she's just so present that all you have to do is be present with her and just react off of her. And at times, not at times, all the time, I feel like I'm acting opposite of a different person, a different actress, and she's so immersed in these characters, and she's thought them out so well that it makes all of our jobs easy, which is, I mean, ridiculous because she's got the hardest job in the world playing, not in the world, but the hardest acting job ever, playing all these different characters and playing them so masterfully that she's making it easier on us. That how good she is. I mean, it's crazy. What we want to do is make it easier on her, but she's really the one that's making it easier on us. So no, it's definitely there's no need to prepare any differently because she's going to be there and she's going to be that person in that moment. So it's quite an amazing thing to do.
Now I know when we had a great article in Entertainment Weekly, a big cover story about Orphan Black before the premiere. There's a little blurb about Tatiana stand-in.
Wonderful gal too.
How does that work? Do you have to film things more than once, going back and forth? How does it affect you?
I was in. I've only been in a scene like that once, and it was in the first episode of the season where Rachel comes face to face with Sarah. And it was really interesting to see how it works. And Catherine is an amazing actress in her own right, Tatiana's double, and she really gives it all. I mean, she gives 100% in her performance as well, making it easier on Tat. And they just work as a collaborative team. Where as far as they have to mimic the camera dolly, the techno dolly has to mimic the movements, and she's there to help Tat every step of the way. It's a long process. So to get all those multiple clone scenes, I mean, I hope you guys really appreciate the effort and the work that goes into it, not only from our technical team and our crew and our director, but also Tatiana and Catherine, because they really go for it, and it's an amazing technical feat. I mean, we've left Pollyanna in the dust. I think.
I know. I remember when I was so impressed. Lindsay Lohan, like, wow.
And even Haley Mills back in the day.
No,
yeah.
please.
No, please. No, they're on the forefront of something special, and they do it great. And it's a long day. That's all I gotta say. But I was really appreciative to finally be a part of it.
But would you like more scenes with multiple?
I would. But as far as a production standpoint, it's not always ideal. It's almost impossible.
Call time.
Yeah, well, and it's Tatiana. I mean, how much can you put her through? And you can't shoot. Can't keep that girl there for 24 hours nonstop, because that's what it would take to get so many of them in the same scene. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing when they all get together, and it's awesome. So.
Well, another question we got is about another get-together some people would like to see, including Google Plus user Jay and Kasuga. Do you think Paul would get along with the other monitors, Delphine and Donnie? We know you love Donnie already. Yeah. I can just imagine them hanging out together, knocking back drinks, and sharing notes about their respective clones.
I would love a scene with Donnie. I feel like it would be like a 22 Jump Street kind of like a buddy cop thing, where Paul can really take Donnie under his wing and maybe take him out on some tactical missions and teach him how to be a real badass. But he's actually coming into his own. He's pretty much more of a badass than Paul's been this year. But yeah, also Delphine too. I mean, she's a doctor. She would be a very interesting person to talk to, and she's not too hard on the eyes either. So and that accent, I don't know, that accent would, I think it would be fun to get them all together. We have all these clone scenes, maybe get some monitor scenes, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think their interactions between all of them, because they're all such different characters, would be very interesting.
Another question we got, I know Paul is a very stoic character. Are we ever going to experience a very emotional or physically visible moment with him? And are you looking forward to that?
I think you will. I absolutely think you will. I think it was necessary for this season and the first season for Paul to be a stoic character, and for to hold all his cards close to his vest. And he's described as a guy with the perfect poker face, and he's always trying to keep that perfect poker face. But at the same time, I think things will come to light where you'll experience a more open Paul, a more emotional Paul. And I really am looking forward to the day where he's able to let loose, because I think that's definitely on the forefront.
So how much do you know about Season 3 at this point? Where are you guys?
Well, I know Graham and John, going into Orphan Black from the start, had an arc that they wanted to accomplish, and I think that they definitely have an idea of what they want to do in Season 3. I don't think it's been fleshed out yet, and like I said, with any TV show, it's always evolving. Things can always change. But I have kind of a good idea, a little bit of an idea of what could happen. But yeah, that's probably all I can say before I get sniped from somewhere.
Ooh. Now, part of that arch, I hope, is an explanation of the name Orphan Black, which hasn't really been fully discussed and fleshed out. Do you know what it is? Any inklings?
I think so. I think Mrs. S kind of said something pertaining to Sarah was an orphan and she was in the black, outside of the system. So I think that's kind of what it's pertaining to. In my own personal judgment, that's what I think. But I mean, there can definitely be a bigger meaning to what Orphan Black means other than that. But I think it's keeping an orphan out of the system, off the grid, in the dark. Hence the name Orphan Black.
Right.
Yeah.
And all the clones kind of out of the dark.
Exactly. Well, Sarah was the only one that was off the grid. They were all
right.
all the other ones were
clones
accounted for. Clones in general.
Off the grid.
Yeah.
But now they're out. But a lot of people have been asking though where your character has been the second season. He was gone for a little bit.
Right.
What do you think happened there?
Well, I think it was definitely necessary for the storyline for Paul to be gone for a while, and I don't want to just be there for filler. I mean, just to pop in like Kramer on Seinfeld, just popping in. But I think it was a necessity, and I think it worked. I think it added to the mystery, and it's also gonna, you guys are gonna find out why in the final episode, why he was gone so long. But it also afforded me some great opportunities where the production team was nice enough to let me go work on some other projects. I was able to work on Arrow, do a recurring gig on Arrow, and then do Flowers in the Attic and Petals on the Wind as well. But it got kind of confusing with scheduling because Arrow would want me certain days, then Orphan Black would need me, and Orphan Black was in first position, so Arrow was kind of like, So a lot of my stuff in Arrow was scaled back because of that, but it was still fine because it was neat to just go be in a different orbit, in a different world for a while. But my home is definitely Orphan Black, and I'm looking forward to finally getting Paul back in there in the last episode.
So let's talk a little bit more about this last episode, if we can, tomorrow night, however much we can talk about it.
Yeah.
A lot has happened,
right?
And a lot has led up to this moment,
right?
One of the biggest things is Donnie in I don't even know what to call it, in that car moment of feeling.
Right. What's going to happen to them?
So what's going to be resolved? What is still going to be a mystery?
Well, now going into it, we still have to, Casima's on the verge of death. Kira and Sarah are now lost from Mrs. S. They're in Dyad's control. You don't know where Paul's allegiance falls. Is it with Dyad? Is it with Sarah? There's a lot of things that need to be explained. So a lot of things will be explained, but a lot of things will not be explained. Could be because it's a show that we don't want to give you everything all at once. We want to keep you hooked, and that's what our show's about. But yeah, definitely there will be some satisfaction as far as there will be some storylines that'll be wrapped up, and a lot of stuff will be fleshed out and explained. But a lot of new things will be introduced as well. Going for possibly a season 3, a lot of new things that will project us into season 3's story.
Now, Orphan Black is definitely one of these big shows that has shepherded this huge cable TV momentum that keeps on going. 10 episodes at BBC America.
Yeah.
So what is it like, because just talking about, working on network with Arrow, what's it like having that type of support, that type of work schedule, and then, as you said, for the fans, a good solid 10-episode season just to get in?
I love it, and I think 10 episodes is perfect for a show like Orphan Black, is because if you do more than 10 episodes, there's a lot of shows where they can have enough content to do more than 10 episodes. But I think keeping Orphan Black at 10 episodes, it just keeps it fresh. It keeps it new. The content doesn't get diluted at all. It seems like we can take more risks with 10 episodes too. I really like a shortened season, and I think it works for a lot of shows. Like Breaking Bad's 13 episodes, right? And Mad Men as well, and it just seems like the cable model for the shortened season is really seems to be the one that's working right now, as far as not having to come up with so much story and so much dialogue. It's got to be such a hard thing to do for all those network shows. But kudos to them, because a lot of shows like Arrow, they do a great job with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually enjoy it. But at the same time, I would like to be working for 22 episodes, 23 episodes a year. But 10 episodes definitely takes up a shorter period of time for your shooting schedule. But I think it works as far as the content for our show.
And it allows for good binge watching, too.
It's perfect for binge watching.
People can catch up.
Yeah.
This was definitely a show that, huge word of mouth. You know, a lot of people did not watch it right when it premiered, the first episode, and caught up with it. And so it's still an easy show at this point to catch up with before the third season comes back. And stuff like that. Do you binge watch? Are you a binge watcher?
Oh, totally. I watched House of Cards season 2 in one day. Cool. I watched Breaking Bad. I think I caught up in like a couple seasons that I missed in like a week. Orange is the New Black. I think my girlfriend and I watched that in a couple days. So I'm a big binge watcher. I love binge watching. It's a great way to watch television nowadays. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work the best for advertising dollars, but that's it's an ever-changing model, and I'm sure the smart people upstairs will find a way to adapt to it. But it's one of my favorite ways to watch television for sure.
So another question we got a lot had to do with that Paul Rachel sex scene.
Yeah.
Episode 5, I believe, this season. What did you think? Eminem Girl 814 said it kind of blurred the line of consent.
No, it was definitely consensual between the two of them. Definitely consensual. It was a scene where we're trying to demonstrate a power struggle between the two characters, and it was also a scene where this character Rachel, she was so suppressed sexually that this is how she released a lot of her inner turmoil and and angst was through having sex. But the director, Helen Shaver, thought it was such a juicy scene that we could play. So she added so many little tidbits that made it so much more interesting. But as far as like Rachel inspecting Paul to make sure that he was worthy to have sex with her, putting her fingers in his mouth, make sure his teeth were as good. It was almost like he was a prized horse at the Derby. But I definitely think it was consensual between the two of them, and he was trying to take control, and then she wouldn't let him exert his control. So. It was. I think Paul definitely enjoyed himself. It seems like he has an affinity for the clone loving. So
I think the fans enjoyed watching it too.
No, it was a cool scene.
I already know there's going to be at least one more next season.
Well, I don't know. It seems to be my forte now. Huh?
Well, that's
Well, there could be worse things, right? There could be worse things.
A lot of people though are asking, do you think Paul and Sarah are ever going to get back together?
I think a lot of smart shows, they do this. If a couple that you want to see together, they drive a wedge between them, so you root for them to get back together. So I definitely don't think that that's not a possibility. I would love to see Paul and Sarah get back together. I loved the dynamic between Paul and Sarah because they were completely different and completely opposite, and the way that they came together is the most bizarre of circumstances. So I would really like to see that dynamic again, because I think Sarah's such a cool character, and I think when we find out what Paul really is, I think that could be a really interesting thing to play out.
Ooh. What Paul really is.
What Paul really is.
Carol Andrew wants to know your favorite scene that's not with a clone.
Favorite scene that's not with a clone. Gosh, anything involving Felix when he's not with the clone, I pretty much love. I actually felt so bad because one of the scenes that I thought, which was from this season, which was beautifully shot. Favorite scenes that I'm in, or just in anybody's?
You can do both.
Okay. Favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes is when Felix. You finally think poor Felix has He's rid himself of Sarah's problems. He's got his new love interest, Colin, from the morgue coming over. They're playing Tears for Fears on the record. He's making his bed, and he's having a good time, and he's gonna finally have a passionate moment with someone that he really likes, and then BDP comes in and interrupts that scene for Felix, which was hard to shoot because Jordan's a good buddy of mine, and but at the same time, I loved everything leading up to that. My other favorite scene, because I really enjoy working with Michael Amando. He's such a wild and wild card of an actor. He's so method and he's so into it. He is Vic when he's on set. So being in the garage with him, the Garage of Terror, which he was in just recently again, and getting into interrogate him with a nail gun was a lot of fun for me too.
Now, do you watch the show back?
I do. I'm not one of those actors who's like, I can't watch myself on TV. Not saying that it's not hard to watch yourself, but I really enjoy watching it with friends, family, acquaintances, because it seems like everybody that I've introduced to the show is a huge fan of the show. So it's really fun for me to. This year I did it. I didn't watch any of the episodes before they went to air. I wanted to watch them live with all the people in my life that are close to me, and it's really fun seeing the reactions to everything that's unfolding. Because I've just read the script and been in the scenes that I've been in, so it's really fun to watch it live.
So where are you going to be tomorrow night to watch this?
I'm going to be live tweeting, guys.
At Hot Paul?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think BBC America will put out a tweet. Orphan Black Twitter will put out a tweet. But I will be live tweeting tomorrow night, the East Coast feed. 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern. So come hang with me on Twitter.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Now, one final question, or closing up soon. Someone wants to know if Paul were ever to dance, what would he dance like? Now, I know you said you wouldn't get shirtless, but I think the people want to see you dance.
You know what? I might get shirtless because
instead of dancing.
Well, I've never seen Magic Mike, but the ladies swear by that Channing Tatum scene to Genuine. And with my current girlfriend, she's like, if we get married, that's going to be the dance you have to do at our wedding. So I have to start taking lessons to how to do the Channing Tatum chair dance. So
okay.
I definitely could throw that in there. Or you know what? I am actually, for a white boy from Canada, I actually have a little bit of rhythm. So I would break out some serious hip hop moves, just like Tat. Tat's got rhythm. I think I can hang with Tatiana for sure.
Really? Well, then they should write a little. Like
I could do a tango. I could in acting in school, in drama school in Seattle. They made us learn the tango, the waltz, all sorts of dances, because they thought I could come and play in certain theater productions. So you never know when you have to pull out the tango or waltz, huh?
What have you learned about acting from this show?
You know what? I've learned that nothing is impossible. I learned that just watching Tatiana, nothing is impossible, and I've learned to just have a lot of fun, just be present in every single scene, in every moment, and it's not necessarily what I've learned, it's what I feel and how gracious I feel to be part of something that we are all so proud of and that we all believe in so much. It's so cool to be a part of a show that people love and the fans really take to. And your family actually enjoys watching, which is great too. So yeah, I'm just over the moon just to be a part of such a wonderful show with a wonderful cast and a wonderful crew.
Well, that seems like a great note to end it on.
Yeah.
Orphan Black season 2 finale tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, BBC America. Dylan here will be tweeting on the West Coast, so follow along, and we're very, very excited. So thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you, Dylan, again, for being here. And you have been with us at Entertainment Weekly, Google Plus Hangout.
Bye, guys.